you had no expectations, as far as I know.
No, not at all.
All of a sudden, you're going hunting again. Your prey is now all around you.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
At first, annoying.
On this episode of Tag In Talk, I sit down with my other brother, Tyler, who is making his debut on the Tag In channel. I've been trying to get my brothers to go hunting with me for years, and I finally got Tyler to come out and do a turkey hunt with me. But first, a quick word about Tag In Talk. Tag In Talk is a new addition to the Tag In channel, and this is a place where I hope to be able to sit down with the folks that I like to get outdoors with, whether it's fishing, hunting, and chat about our experiences together in a really informal, natural, organic way. Many of the topics we address here at Tag In are adult-oriented in nature. These are things like managing your mental health, finding a good work-life balance, and even balancing your outdoor recreation with family and life obligations. Through Tag In Talk, we hope to have authentic, unfiltered discussions around these topics. I'm excited to bring you along. I really look forward to your feedback. We recently went hunting together. Now, I've been trying to get my brothers to go hunt with me for a few years. The fishing, I mean, it's just, I was into hunting. I got into hunting. Cliff introduced me to hunting before I really got into fishing. You know, I mean, we grew up fishing, you know, our dad was a great fisherman in his own right and seriously into it. So we got to go. I'd never really quite appreciated it like I do now. So actually until hunting. And the reason I think I got into fishing was the benefits of going fishing are very similar, and it's just a lot more accessible. I mean, you can just grab, easier than going hunt. Generally, most things you hunt for, all things considered.
Yeah, I mean, you can
grab a rod and a
drive
worm and
20
go fish.
minutes and fish for 2 hours, and you feel good. Hunting, you got to drive probably a lot farther than 20 minutes. Then you also got to invest the time, and if you don't get anything, it's like, all I did was go on a hike armed.
which is still kind of fun.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But you started grouse hunting with me this year. And so this is something that, like, you know, I think everybody being the two brothers and dad to some degree, actually, he's been out hunting more than either you or Spence. Yeah, actually.
Yep.
You got your stuff together and went out grouse hunting a few times with me. This year.
I did.
We didn't really see much those few times. We had a great time out in the woods. And then we had an opportunity recently to do a little turkey hunting.
Yeah.
And that worked out pretty well, I must say.
I was pleased. Yeah.
You got your first turkey and your first effort.
I sure did. It was an experience. That's for sure.
So before we get into that experience and that day, what about hunting was appeal? Like, why did you do this? Why did you choose to spend your time on that this year?
Well, that's a very good question. I mean, as you know, I've loved firearms since I could hold one and shoot one. Like, I've always loved them. 6. And I always thought I would get into hunting. And so I dabbled, like, in high school. With some of my friends, we'd go deer hunt, and it was just so much work and so unorganized and basically just a giant shit show.
Okay.
That I was like, dude, this is not worth the time or effort. So I kind of gave up on it. I gave up on it. I just said, I'm not going. And then just started living life and focused more on fishing and hiking and camping, and I started backpacking for a few years, which was great. If you can and are willing to, and you have a spouse that will let you, if you have a spouse, do it.
You would just backpack, like, go out and camp and take everything on your back.
Yeah, if it fit in my backpack, I would hike in and stay 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, got it.
And hike out. Like, so I got to go stay and camp in places that no one else goes to because they can't carry their shit in their car.
Right.
You get to see a lot of really cool stuff. It's much like fishing. When you take the time and effort in it, you get to go see all these cool, like, part of what I love about going out and fishing, taking away from the whole hunting thing because tangent, is all the cool things that you will see.
Mm,
I've watched eagles take fish out of a river.
mm,
I've watched mist rolling across the river as the sun rises. Like it
mm.
just like I don't know, fairy tale bullshit, I guess. It was just really cool. It's like majestic. But so anyway, I focused more on that stuff.
It's all the reasons you play fantasy video games, and then all of
Yeah,
a
it's
sudden
to
you're just like,
see
"Yeah,
it,
yeah,
but then like if you just go outside, you can see it.
amazing,
Weird.
amazing how that is."
But yeah, so I did that. And then you started getting into hunting, which
Mm.
I was super excited about. I was like, oh shit, Josh is actually gonna go get something and kill it. Like that's weird to me because I've known him forever and he wasn't like that. So seeing you get into it, I was like, damn, you know what? I should try and go hunt again. Like I should like I'm older, like I'm more capable of planning and like discerning what I need. Like not gonna lie, ODFW
Mhm.
does not make that easy at all.
As hard as they try, and they do.
They do, but that's not what their gig is. They're to protect it, not make it easy for us to go kill it. Who'd have thought? But so I was like, dude, I should just do it. Like it can't be as bad as it was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I kept saying like, yeah, I'd be down to go do it. And then I never was. And then I think it was just like within the last year and a half, I said, no, I'm going to make time to go experience this and see if it's something I want to get into.
Good for you.
And so far it is something
You just
I wanna
made the
get
decision.
into.
You're just like, I'm gonna
I
just
was like,
try
no, I'm
this
going
here.
to do it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and that's so great, and you could feel that too. It's like, hey, I'm doing this. All right, I'll be there. It's cool, yeah, because it is a bit of work. You gotta figure out where you can go and where you can hunt, the regulations, get your license. It's different than your fishing license. And then for birds, you need this stamp and this all that jazz. And so yeah, it is a little bit of commitment. So you committed, and we got lucky enough to go on a hunt. And normally turkey in January is crazy. I mean, I think it's only been the last couple of years that you've been able to go and do fall turkey in January here in Oregon. And so we had the opportunity to go to a special property, and it was four of us. You, me, Cliff, and one of Cliff's good hunting buddies who finally got to meet, heard all about it. Cliff's got tails like you wouldn't believe, but
Stories, and you call bullshit on them until he shows you
oh
proof.
my gosh, and it's
And then you're
really?
like, that's not
Really?
even real. That's not real life.
Yet somehow, so those guys were fantastic, and it's darn funny because anybody who's gone fishing with an older generation, let's say, man,
Boy.
they sure do love to toy with you a little bit. They had wisely. This is the difference between a bunch of noob hunters, if you will, or anxious folks like myself who was in that position where I haven't been turkey hunting in a while, wanted to get out and just walk. They perused the property first outside of it and found a flock of birds before they even got going. And so they're all over in this corner. We're gonna go get there, and there's a stream, and on the other side is where we got to get them for legal shooting. And you guys, it'd be nice. The young guys got to go push them up there. And I'm kind of like, yeah, whatever, okay. And after walking around briefly, it's a spot I definitely had success before. It's like, all right, they have a point. If they have eyes on birds, that's if you know the animal's there, it's probably the smartest place to start. So let's not waste too much time. We went and met them, and kind of we're like, all right, we'll push the birds. We'll do it together. We'll push them, and across this stream or whatever. We were warned to bring some tall rubber boots,
Yeah.
some muck boots,
Yeah.
because the ranch we were on had gotten a bit of moisture, and this wasn't a frickin' stream.
No,
I have
No, it
not
was
hunted these old sons of bitches.
I could have fished it.
I mean, wow, never again.
No.
Never again. I was still.
No.
So I actually have. The stream was one thing. So we had to go down the stream till we could find a place where we could actually cross it with all of our gear without getting totally soaked,
Yeah.
regardless of these tall boots. And then the brush on the other side was something I would normally never, ever, ever try to get through. But there was nowhere else to go.
There's no other option.
And we're just trying to get to a place to set up for these birds. And I got scratches all over my neck from
Yeah.
blackberry bush. We're just like trudging through blackberry bushes, no extra hands to try to get us through
I can't
there.
see it on here, but my hands are all sorts of cut out
Dude.
from it.
I had blackberry thorns stuck in my neck. I didn't realize for like a day or two. And you know what that does. So
Yeah.
that was like not great.
I at least had my neck covered.
Wise. And that was your first turkey hunt. You're smarter than I am.
No.
Anyway, so okay. Great. So other than that adventure, which was immediately like never again, these guys suck. And you can't even go back and admit that to them because they're just gonna laugh at you.
Yeah,
Like that's their plan all
100%.
along. It's just like,
Like,
yo,
didn't
the
you look
young
at the
guys
map?
that cross the we got back and they're like, I can't believe you guys crossed that stream. Yeah, me either.
Twice.
So
Once with a bird.
we actually had just crossed the stream. We heard some shots go off. I saw some birds go. And I put the gear down and then had you bust across a field and get into a forest area to try to hunt them down. And then we lost each other for quite a while.
Yeah, it was a bit.
Yeah. So the flock had scattered as you do in the fall. And what did you see in the forest? Because we haven't talked about it at all. Like, how did this play out?
I saw some more water.
That's not shocking.
Luckily smaller. Trees. There were some trees around. No, I just saw birds flying into the tops of these trees.
Yeah.
And I mean turkeys. First one kind of scared the holy bejesus out of me because they are loud, a lot louder than you would think.
Mm.
So I just saw a couple fly in, and as I started like looking up,
Mhm.
watching them, seeing where they were going, as I was hiking around trying to actually get eyes on them cleanly, I would spook a couple, and I was watching where they would fly off to, whether it was, to my left, my right, whatever. So I could basically, I was just gonna follow them around like a lost puppy.
Yeah. I mean, again, if you have eyes on something. Now they're in the trees, so generally speaking, that's not the ideal place to get a bird, but you're at least following them to see when they come down.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out
Yeah.
when they leave the tree,
Where they're
they're
going.
going to land, which direction I should
Yep.
search
Perfect.
when they land. And I walked around there probably hour.
It was a
45 minutes
while.
to an hour.
It was a while.
Just circling, following the birds, trying to find.
So what was that like? Like you're hearing, like we were heading down, and this is how much I commend you for committing, because you're like, yeah, I'm in. Cool, I got my stuff. You got all your tags, and then on the way down, like, all right, so I don't know anything about it. Like, what do I need to know?
I was like, so what is the relevant information that I
Yeah.
should be aware of to do this?
In
Because
spring-
I've never done it.
Spring turkey hunting is a different animal. It's like, okay, well, there's a little bit more complexity to that. Fall's its own beast. And so I just say that all to say, like, you had no expectations, as far as I know.
No, not at all.
So all of a sudden you're going hunting again. You're hunting your prey is now all around you.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
At first, annoying.
That's funny. I usually get a lot of adrenaline. I'm like, oh my God, this might work out. But you're just immediately like, why are they above me?
Yeah, dude, they're way up there. Visibility is shit when you're looking up a tree because all the big branches are on the bottom. So they're very well hidden.
It's shocking for a big bird like that.
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's just, so it was annoyance.
I see.
Also, since I didn't know, like, I was like, man, can I take one out of a tree? Can I not take one out of a tree? Like,
because this is your first true hunting anything success. Deer.
Yeah.
Everything.
oh, I mean, I've shot plenty of squirrels.
Oh my God. And I won't go into it, but we'll do a grouse. My first grouse took me years, as embarrassing as that is. And anyway,
Wow,
so
I can understand it.
Let me just say, I totally understand how close do I have to be notion right off the
Yeah,
bat. Okay.
I was like, I didn't know if I could get them distance wise. I didn't know if I could get them coverage wise because I know it's shot and it's not like a rifle round where I can push it through brush.
Yep.
I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't even know if it's kosher to take a bird out of a tree.
Right.
And so like I got a good line of sight on one bird and I didn't take it because I wasn't comfortable
Good for
doing
you.
it.
Yeah. For you.
So it was a little bit of an annoyance. It was frustrating. I was like, they're right here.
Yeah. Taunting.
And I
you.
don't know if I can do anything about it. And then when you came back and we met up, and basically it was like, here's a bird, we can get it.
Mhm.
Then it was just like adrenaline,
Yeah,
and
I love it.
everything was like non-existent. The only thing I knew where they were was you, so I didn't shoot you,
Mhm.
and my prey, so I could shoot it.
So that was kind of cool because I had the same experience. I was on the other side of this wooded area. I mean, there's a road going through there. And so we were kind of in a couple acres together, and you were on one end. I mean, we lost contact with each other. I
Yeah,
kind of called out for you and didn't hear anything. So I knew we weren't super close.
yeah, yeah.
And
No,
I could not, I was seeing birds in the trees pretty regularly for a while. I'm like, these cats are not coming down. I'm going to I decided at some point to go out into a pasture and find some brush in the middle of a pasture and sit down and try to do some calls to like bring a flock back. And I mean, no sooner than I had set down my pack to sit down and start doing this, and I heard put put up in a tree right there. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a genius. Of course, I knew this. I'm right here. There's going to be
yeah,
a bird around, and then I see motion in the woods, and I see it's clearly a person, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. It must be Cliff. For some reason, my mind went white too. It's Cliff or Cliff's buddy Steve. And actually the reason I thought that is because I heard a couple clucks when I was cruising around, and they were good, but they didn't sound real. And I just assumed it. No offense, Cliff. I assumed it was Steve because they sound pretty real. Although Cliff has actually got a really good call. I I think I'm just biased against giving Cliff shit, I guess. So I assumed he was in that area, but it was you. And I was so ecstatic that you were on this bird already. You were looking straight up into the tree. And it was only, so then I was able to join you. And it was only a matter of time when that bird decided to come down. So what was that like? When he stuck, we finally got that head where it needed to
when he
be.
finally let me see his red face, um, that was exciting.
Were you even thinking? Like, how did that go?
Um,
Were you like, I got to get the dot on the head? I mean, was it like, what was going through your mind, if anything? Because that can happen too. Or it's just like autopilot.
it was it seemed really slow, but
Mm.
in reality, it was really fast. It was fractions of a second,
Yeah, they don't give you
really.
a lot of time.
I was just trying to keep the dot where I thought his head would be,
Yeah.
so that when it did come around,
Mm-hmm.
any adjustment I needed to make was very minor.
Yeah.
And then it was
Game
the
over.
dot covered him, and I didn't even feel myself squeeze the trigger.
Love it.
I just felt the shotgun hit my shoulder, and I realized that that is a non-typical shotgun feeling,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's because your chamber's a 3.5, and
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So
We
I was
yeah yeah
I was
yeah.
holding it a little loose.
He was a little bit.
Oops.
He had some good distance on him, obviously, given the circumstance, and we had TSS in both shotguns, but yours is chambered in 3, and mine's
Yes.
3.5. And I was like, this, you need do the extra oomph.
Yeah.
Don't mess around. But I didn't tell you because
Now
no time.
I'm glad you didn't, because I didn't like the chance of me anticipating extra recoil could have messed things up. I don't know.
I'm surprised you felt that. I often don't in the moment, but yeah, it was.
But like I said, I was holding it fairly loosely because
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a shotgun. Like, what is it?
Yeah.
Like, it's a shotgun. Whatever.
What?
But when I saw the head, dot covered, squeeze it, and the shotgun like bounced out of my hand,
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't hear it.
All of a sudden, you're not worried about the bird anymore. Like,
Yeah, I'm like, what the
that?
hell? And then I saw the bird wiggle, and so I was like, oh, what? And then it fell over, and cool.
Oh,
Like
so fun.
it was like, oh, I win.
That's so great. That was so exciting. I'm
It was
pumped.
a shitload of fun.
All right, so you're in for round 2, whenever that is.
Well, I got a voucher, so I'm gonna have to use it.
All right.
Sorry.
Well, we'll make plans for next go round. That was so exciting. I'm thrilled you went. There is nothing more exciting than taking somebody out fishing or hunting and having them experience success. It does seem like beginner's luck. They usually get one on the first go.
Oh,
I don't
100%.
know what
Yeah,
it is,
it
but
is.
I like that because it's going to be what keeps them coming back. So I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, it's the pun. Um, it's the hook set. Gets you.
Get them.
And then
Get 'em.
once you have that feeling, that adrenaline, that success, you're like, oh yeah, I could do this again. And then you'll go do it again. And if you don't have success for some odd reason, we go, that was a
It's a
fluke.
waste of
Next
time.
time.
Yeah.
Next time we'll get him. And then you just keep going.
Well, and then you start to be like, all right, well, bear season and a cougar, and yeah, it's a little addicting.
Yeah. That's definitely gives you something to do year round.
So the other thing that I wanted to ask you about is we talked about this a little bit while we were hunting. You recently went and took a rod building course. And that is something that I have been very not interested in, not like I'm looking to pick up a new skill or hobby. I'm not at all. Well, I always want to be able to make and fix anything. And so that is one of those things that's just kind of like, how does that work? And how does it work? I don't know if we can go through all this in one podcast, and it might be worth going into detail in a later one. But I want to hear at a high level, like, why are you interested in that? What are you going to do coming out of that course? And what are the practical skills that an angler might get by learning that? Like, let me just leave it there first.
Okay.
That's 3 questions in a row. So
Yeah. Well, could we go over it all in one podcast? Yes, but it'd be very long.
well, then we'll save the length of it for another one because we've been chatting about a bit already. But at the highest level, I'm like, why did you do that? How did you feel? What are you going to do as a result? And then is that like for the average angler? Is that a I don't know, a skill to even be aware of and know? You see it playing there, or do you see like no? Why would anybody want to learn that? We'll leave it there.
So at a very high level, why I started doing it is because I love tinkering. I love building. I love learning. And
this is true.
A couple years ago, I got into fly fishing, and then I got into tying flies, and I figured, hell, I spend enough money on these stupid damn things. Why not learn how to make rods? And that's
I mean, just truly, it's just like I'm interested. Like when you get into something, you like to go deep and kind of get your fingers in as many aspects of it as you can.
Yeah,
and you like to tinker and build.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's just as simple as
it was. Honestly, curiosity. Can I? How difficult is it? Yeah. What makes some of these things $1,000?
Okay, that's a great question. I have that question myself.
Well, I could answer it for you on one of these podcasts.
We'll do another one. We'll go into a depth of rod building. Actually, I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. That'd be fun. Yeah, because I learned a shit ton and a lot of stuff I never would have thought was why it is. But so that's why I got into it.
Okay,
it was curiosity mostly, and just why the hell not?
Okay. And you had built a few rods before you had this opportunity to go learn from one of the masters in the industry. I don't even know if you want to talk about the opportunity or not. You don't have to.
No, it was an amazing experience. I went and took this rod building seminar with Gary Loomis up in Woodland, Washington, with North Fork Composite and Edge rods. And
he made some pretty cool rods.
He's done a thing or two. Yeah. It was an amazing experience. Definitely worth it. And I'm very happy that I was able to do that. Thank you to my lovely lady. She paid for it.
I mostly did. That's a lie.
That is 100%.
What are you going to do with that knowledge? So I mean, out of just pure interest and growth, I mean, there's value there. Totally. I got that. But when you get through an experience like that and you have that knowledge, does that change anything?
It absolutely does change things. I am going to take that knowledge and make myself a quiver of the most badass rods anyone will see on the water. Uh,
I love that.
no, in all fairness, or in all reality, what I would like to do is build for other people.
Cool. Custom runs.
Custom rods.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't do a whole lot with the blank designs because I don't have a facility in the machinery to build blanks.
I see.
But I can change out grips, reel seats, guides, thread wraps. I can make you a neon purple thread wrapped rod if you want one that stands out. I can do all that now. Excuse me. And I can take a blank that would be nostalgic for somebody and completely refurbish it and turn it into basically a brand new rod.
Nice.
So
Love
like
that.
your grandfather gave your dad a rod and your dad gave you that rod and it's in bad shape. I can bring it back up to fishability.
Got it.
And like I can just like that to me I think is super cool. Like
Okay. So I guess that kind of answers the lingering question I had. Like for the average angler, is that a skill worth knowing, and how might you use that? Or is it really more like it's kind of its own hobby? I mean, I suppose, I mean, I know professionals will make their own rods sometimes when they can't find one or their
Oh,
sponsor doesn't have one to fit it, you know. Uh, but tell me, I mean, what are some practical applications, or is it not really like that?
No, there definitely are.
Okay.
For a lot of people, they're probably not going to need it or use it, but you totally could. Like, let's say we're out fishing and you got a fish on, and in your excitement, you reach up and grab like the tip of your rod
Never done it.
and it snaps.
Never
No?
happened.
Know someone that has maybe? I don't know.
might
I think
have
I've
it.
seen it once or twice somewhere. But like if you
The fish was getting in my motor.
it was. And it was very needed. It wasn't an accident. It was fish away from motor. Prop would have just torn him up and we weren't going to keep him, so he needed to live.
That's how much of a conservationist I am. I'll
Yeah,
sacrifice a
this guy.
nice
So green.
trolling rod for one
so let's- yeah.
stock trout. But I did. I mean, truly, I did. It's just habit. It's just instinct.
Yeah,
You know what I
no,
mean? You're not thinking about it.
I-
And all of a sudden, you're lifting your rod, and you're up. And
No,
carry on,
get it.
carry on.
I get it. I broke one of my 7 weights on a chum because I high sticked him thinking, oh, I can do this. No, you can't.
that's
You
dumber than
can't.
what I did. That's way dumber. But
Yeah,
anyway,
way dumber.
okay.
All
right.
So anyway, let's say you are casting or something, you tag a branch and you break off the first inch of your rod or something like that.
Mm.
You can take your tip top, if you have a lighter, melt it, like reshape it and basically fix that rod and keep using it rather than trashing a rod. Now, again,
Nice.
if it's
Okay.
a $30 Fred Meyer special, don't waste your time.
Got
But
it.
let's say it's a Lamaglass or a Loomis or,
And I
a
know they have little
Striker.
kits for that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
like if you have the right stuff, you could probably do something a little more permanent and
Yeah,
professional. And I see
absolutely.
what you're saying.
Or
Okay.
if you,
I have cracked eyelets.
I was gonna say, if
Yeah,
you crack an eyelet
yeah.
or step on an eyelet and it deforms, like instead of being like, damn it, I have to send this in and have it take 3 weeks or whatever.
And then pay your warranty
Yeah.
cost or whatever it is, and then get upsold by whatever
you
manufacturer.
you get on like Mud Hole. Hey, you guys should pay me now. You get on a site and order a guide, and it's like $2, and some threads $2,
Yeah, I see.
and you just
Fix it.
cut the old one off, wrap on the new one, and
Okay,
Get
so
your
there's a
back in action.
maintenance, repair, kind
Yeah.
of just taking care of your gear aspect.
yeah,
that
it's
it's
like,
okay.
you can make a fishing rod that would otherwise be useless, reusable, and like you can save yourself money. Or like I was talking about before, if you have sentimental value in something, you can keep it.
What would you say is kind of the if you wanted to get the basic gear needed to do repairs, like not the full on custom build, super high end equipment. Like what are we talking here? Like, I'm not even sure what it all entails, but it's just like an investment.
You can do it the way I got into it. I basically took some 1x3 and cut little T's with V's in them.
Yeah.
My
Got it.
microphone's in the way. Anyway, just some stands. And then they have little V notches in them, and so you can set
You
your
can
blank
make
in
your
it.
own stuff. Okay,
Yeah, and then I
gotcha.
bought this is because I'm a huge nerd. I bought an RC motor off of Amazon for like $12
Okay.
to make a turning motor so I could dry the epoxy.
Dude.
Yeah.
Like, okay. See, yeah, you are a
Yeah.
tinkerer.
Yeah. And like, honestly, if you have a couple of decently sized paperback books, you throw your.
I don't know how to read. That could be challenging.
That could be challenging.
All right.
I'm sure you got some boxes that would work in here somewhere. But anyway, yeah, you just throw your thread in a mug and you run the thread through 2 books so you have some kind of tension on it, and you can wrap on that. That's
hilarious. Okay. Oh, all right.
So it doesn't take a lot.
Truly, I had no idea that you could just do.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
I mean, now I have a much more advanced setup, but
right. Naturally, if I mean, yeah, at this point, if you're off and they're like, hey, I can build some custom rods, you've come a long way there. I had no idea. Well, hey, I would like to be your first customer. I decided I want a nice custom jerkbait rod. So,
all right. I will be happy to build one.
Awesome.
Yeah. I can take you through the process if there's something you're interested in seeing.
I'll watch.
Yeah. It's just so you can see what it takes.
Yeah. I love it. Let's do it. All right. Well, I'll get to be your first customer. And then as soon as you get up and running on that, we'll get you back to talk about it in detail.
That makes me officially a professional rod builder.
Yeah. I didn't say I'm going to pay you. Anyway, we're going to work that out. But hey, thank you for coming by. I had a blast. I am so proud and honored to be with you during your first successful hunt. That was a blast. And we need to get you out on the water. So,
yes, we do. And I'm super appreciative of you asking me to join you because
my pleasure.
I don't know shit.
Yeah, we're going to change all that. All right. Till the next time.
All righty.
See y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Take care.